Just looking at some of those cymatics things on the internet, videos where they take a sound frequency and, like, say you hit a note on a piano, and on top of the piano, you make sure if it's a wood piano that you put down a nice something plastic so that if it spills, that you don't ruin the wood. Because some people are incredibly, I don't know, I just gotta put it out there. Like, if it's wood, never put wet on wood furniture unless the furniture has been finished with like a varathane or a urethane or some kind of a plastic finish. Like wood that's been traded with, whatever. Because some people, I don't think they ever had fine wood furniture. Because, I mean, one time I was working as a support worker in a group home, and they were all boys, all about 12 years old boys. And they're super rambunctious at 12 years old. Wild things. I've been in trouble with the cops so many times. Up on the wall is all these breach of probation, breach. But they're 12 years old and they gotta go to school and they gotta have a place to live, and they live here. In this enormous house with a full-time staff in a group home. And, what was it? Well, they just, they bought this big house and then they had to renovate it for these wild things. They did a great job. They really thought about it, and they made the place bulletproof. In the living room, there was a black leather couch, a coffee table that's like this kind of thing, like it's wood, but it's got like a lot of plastic on it so that, I don't know if they got a carving knife or something. I might start scraping into that. I don't want to tell you that. I know somebody, he used to like to go and scrape his names into people's fine furniture. I don't want to talk about, anything to do with it. I don't know, just so that somebody remembers. But anyways, so you got your piano and you put down something, and then you get a bowl of water and fill the water up, not too much, but not too low. And then what you do is you put that bowl, maybe in a glass bowl, up on top of the piano, and then you hit a note. And maybe you should put a drop of food coloring into the water so you can see the water move better. And then if you hit that note, then the water will move in a certain pattern. And I don't know if it's loud enough, just the piano by itself. You might need to have like an amplified sound, but you could do like, you could probably find, you could find those videos on YouTube and then just put them through your stereo, your home stereo, and make it really loud. And then, just like what they show in the video, your water should form patterns. And, so what came first was the frequency that made that pattern. Where can you get frequencies from? Apparently from crystals. Early radio sets used crystals. What kind of crystals? Crystals that they mined out of the ground. So, crystal frequencies, if the crystal is a nice looking crystal, should give you a nice clean frequency to make a nice interesting pattern and things like these water cymatic pictures. What does it mean? Well, some people complain that certain hertz frequencies are harmful to humans. Like they talk about, I don't know, is it 432 hertz or something? The tunings of pianos. They said in the old days they tuned them to one thing, and then something happened and somebody made everybody change, I don't know, a semitone or something, or a quarter semitone, or a tenth of a semitone or something, just enough to make it an annoying noise. So it's distortion. I don't know, because no matter what frequency, I don't know, maybe I'm not able to tell you, because I don't know what else to tell you. It's just that, whatever it is, if you change the frequency, then the pattern of the water just change. And, when you were doing it that way, it never is going to turn into a ghoul's face. If it's off by a little bit, then the pattern is going to be different, but it's not going to be like a negative pattern. When I look at the pattern, just a different look. It's like Islamic art or something. It's geometric patterns, and it's different on a different frequency. In these cases, I don't know. I don't see why. But I don't know. Maybe people have got some ideas that somehow the human cell membranes or something are only good at certain frequencies. Other frequencies, they all fall apart. Well, what do directed energy weapons do? They're disruptors. Where did we hear about disruptors? On Star Trek, the original series. It was the Gorn. They were the reptilians. The reptilians were using, their weaponry was called, they had disruptors. And Captain Kirk had one mean plasma grenade. Holy moly, with a grenade launcher. Warfare, holy moly, that's scary as all hell. Anyways, that was one of those episodes, Arena. Star Trek, the original series. Oh boy. Woo, no one wants to fight reptilians because they're really big. Really big. Really big. And well, I don't know. And then this was 1967, before computer-generated animation. So, it was the props department that was putting together the costume for the reptilian. How close to real did the costume department get with a working model of something that looks like a very small Tyrannosaurus Rex? Very small, like bigger than a man, but not that much bigger. Like a man is 6 feet tall, this thing will be 7.5 feet tall. Considerably larger, but it was portrayed in the movie. Don't bother, I'm not going to tell you anything more. Go watch that episode. It's on your stupid Netflix. Why? Because I want you to start watching original Star Trek and the other Star Treks, because there's all kinds of trip codes about things that are possible. Because the word impossible, if you just take, I don't know, one of those butcher knives and just go whack, and you just make the word impossible into 2 words, and it becomes I'm possible. So people who say that faster than light travel is impossible is like, no, just cut it in half and say it's possible. And then they're going to quote, this morning they were doing that somehow. Einstein says it can't be done. Too bad. Find somebody else. Get rid of that Einstein guy, and I want that German guy. Oh, cause if Einstein won't work, I want the German guy, the German mathematician. There was a German mathematician that invented his own mathematics. And that guy talked about faster than light travel back during the time of, I don't know, like in those old bad days, but he worked for the enemy, but he was like one of them people, in modern day we call them Germans. But, everybody knows that the smartest minds in many ways are the German mind. And the German mind guy created his own new mathematics. And it was all hushed up because his mathematics was, they kept saying it was too difficult for anybody else to learn, which means they wanted to keep it secret because it actually worked, which means that faster than light travel is actually totally possible. Burkhard Heim, H-E-I-M, and obviously he was beyond brilliant, because he did his work after he had lost parts of his body. He was doing some, science fun chemical experiments in his garage, and something blew up. So he was beyond crippled, and they still had enough mind power in order to come up with unbelievable. So Burkhard Heim, you can research him if Einstein is just too much limiting. Get rid of limiting beliefs. And if Heim don't work, then go find some young kid. out smoking weed, 15 years old, out smoking weed at Hillcrest Park. Because that's where they hang out, and that's where the smartest people are. They're 15 years old. There's a super peak of intelligence among certain people at about 15 years of old, where they should be taken out of regular school and they should be given whatever they want. Because they are the next Einstein, and they're going to gift us with something great. So, for somebody like me, basically, I need a hotel room with a nice desk and, plugins for my phone. I need coffee. Cigarettes, coffee, chocolate chip cookies, a loaf of bread, peanut butter, cans of vegetarian beans. Everything has to be vegetarian. Everything. I do drink milk and I'll eat cheese, but no meat. And I don't know. Eggs, I'll eat them. And I know there's been so much problem, even with chicken eggs. You think the chickens should be okay if you put them in, a decent housing and they lay you nice eggs. But then you hear about all these other things about how horrible it is when they go and they kill off all the male chicks. Because they only want female chicks, because they're the only ones that lay eggs and the males don't do anything for you. They kill them when they're chicks. Have you seen how cute baby chicks are? When we were in grade 4 or 5 at Victoria Park School in Thunder Bay, at the school we hatched chickens and ducks. Oh, they're so cute. This is my 9-year-old boy face. He really is crying. He can't believe you adults. I don't know what you will do to save a dime. Because it's so heartless. Because, when you're 9, you're not that far out of, grade, 4. You remember grade 4. And then when you're in, I don't know. I don't know. It's a long time ago, like when you're 10 years old and you think back to, can you think about when you're 5, when you're 10 years old? I don't think I could. I didn't think back, but I don't think I had a memory of, very much memory. I don't, even to this day, it's blocked. Because there's all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Okay, I got to back to my original topic. Hold on. Okay, we're going to shift gears and we're going to go into Kodak moments. Okay, Kodak was the film company where they made film in the old-fashioned cameras where you bought a plastic film that went into your little handheld machine, twice the size of a handheld phone, maybe a small one like mine, and then you would take a picture with it. You'd put the machine up to your eye, and then you could aim it at something that you want to take a picture with. You push a button, and then a shutter would open. It would open like that, let light inside the box, and then close very quickly in a fraction of a second, and that light would come in and hit this thing that was called a film. And originally it was silver halide chemical, we were told, that made black and white film, and then they made chemical processes in order to bring color to life with pictures. You take this film to the store, and they would have a store that specialized in developing the film. Eventually they developed machines that would do it, but in the olden days, when I was in 8th grade, we developed film. Because we were gifted for a week with high advanced those kind of cameras, and we shot in black and white. And then we went to a room that was turned into a dark room, and in the dark room we used developing chemicals and printer, and we made black and white photographs. And they turned out awesome. Now, how old are you? 13 years old? 13-year-olds can take awesome pictures. I remember I took a picture of one of the Graf twins, Graf. I guess they moved out of Thunder Bay. I don't know. I think it was Dale and Lyle Graf. Or was it Graf or Graf, like Steffi Graf, the tennis player? Well, you got to remember, I was queer even back in those days. So, I always had an eye for value, a 2 for 1. I don't think I ever saw I don't know. Anything is more beautiful. That Rumpelstiltskin modern day calls them, gorgeous creatures. Anyways, I was 13 years old and I got a picture of one of those graphs. They weren't twins, they were brothers, maybe fraternal twins. Or maybe one, I don't know, like one a year older than the other one or something. They're both at the same school, so it could only be a year apart. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I just can't tell you anything other than what an unbelievably gorgeous creature. Anyways, I got the picture, and I can't tell anybody because it was homophobic back in there. No one could ever talk about anything at all, nothing at all, because you couldn't, because you just couldn't in those days. Anyways, does change, or maybe they do. Okay, what else we want to talk about? Change gears again.